Usage beats acquisition every single time because usage drives habit, habit drives retention, and retention drives results and referrals, which will then drive lifetime value and lower your marketing budget. This will change your business forever.
Welcome, everybody, to the Chris Harder Show, where we are making you unapologetic about your pursuit of success, knowing that when good people like you make good money, they can then do great things. My name is Chris Harder, and several times per week, I will bring you epic guests, solo episodes, and every single tool, trick, and skill set you need to grow your business, grow your money mindset, and to grow your wealth to levels that you have never reached before. I've ended up in a unique place in life where I've got the experience, the connections, and all of the secrets that it takes to be successful. And I'm lifting the curtain to reveal it all to you in an effort to help put you in a position of abundance so great that you can then be as generous as possible. So let's lock arms and let's get started.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Chris Harder Show, where today I am grateful for peptides. How's that? I'm grateful for peptides. I'm grateful for this new stack. I might have even used this one a couple episodes ago, but I have never felt so good and my brain has never felt so sharp and on it. And it's funny because I was talking to my friend Dan Martell. Some of you guys might know who that is. And he's a big AI guy, right? And he sold all these tech companies. He's really into AI, but he's also one of the most fit, healthy individuals I've ever met in my life. He's got it dialed in. And we're on the phone the other day and I'm telling him about my new peptide stack. And he's telling me about his. He says to me, Chris, people don't get it. Peptides are AI for the body. And I was like, oh my God, that makes so much sense. It's the same level of technology and breakthrough that we just really didn't have an understanding of and get our hands on really before the past couple of years. So feeling pretty good and feeling pretty grateful for that. And you feel like, what in the world? I thought this was a business podcast. What the hell is this guy talking about? I try to start all my solo episodes by sharing something I'm grateful for because I am the king of being grateful. I've built it as my default muscle. I just can't help but see the world as glass half full, even when life is lifing me. And I want you to see the world that way too. So I try to lead by example by always making you think about maybe something that you're grateful for by me talking about something I'm grateful for. Now, let me share something from a business perspective, which is why you're probably really tuning in here, that might shock you. And it's this: usage of your product will beat acquisition almost every time. Or let me put it in layman's terms. It's more important to get someone to use your product than it is to sell them your product. You're probably like, dude, that makes no sense. If I don't sell them the product, they can't use it. Now, I'm going to give you some examples. I'm going to teach you exactly what I mean here. It's not enough to sell your product. You have to make people use your product if you're really going to be successful in the long run. And this will shock you. You're going to push back a little bit, but you ready for this? This is your responsibility to get them to use your product, not the buyers. Let this sink in. Might rub you the wrong way first, but it's your responsibility to get your customers to use your product, not theirs. You're like, Chris, bullshit. They're adults. They should, take responsibility for themselves, for the results. It's up to them to use their investment. I understand in a perfect world, you're right. But in the real world, if you want retention and bigger lifetime value and referrals and all that good stuff, you're wrong. The truth is, it's your job to get them to use your product after you sell it to them, not their job to just get it and start using it. There's so many examples where people buy your product and they're excited, but then they put off using it and then they never get around to it because humans are, human. Let's face it, we are our own worst enemies most of the time. The decision-making process that we make in life most of the time usually has a lot of procrastination in it. And so they may buy your health products, and they're going to change their life, but they receive the box and it sits in the kitchen for a week, and then someone moves it to the pantry because they're tired of seeing it in the kitchen for a week, and now it sits there for 2 more weeks. And then before you know it, the next month's supply of your health product shows up, and they're like, oh God, I didn't even start the first month. And then what do? They hit cancel on the auto ship because they're like, oh, I haven't started this yet. And now they might even have a little bit of a negative thought towards it, oh, why is this stuff piling up? Why did I spend this money? And they might even click return. This is what happens all the time. Or think about your course. If you sell a course, or your book, if you sold a book, They get the book, they're all excited to read it, but then life is busy and they needed it in the moment that they ordered it. But then, they're not feeling that exact same pain point when the book gets there a few days later. And life gets really busy. Maybe they have the busiest week of their life. It's like, I'll start that book next week. And it sits on the nightstand or it sits on their desk. And as my friend Jake Kelfer always says, who, is one of the best self-publishing experts out there, check him out. He's like, the power of a book is that when people read it, then they buy into you and they refer it. And that's what creates more book sales, not just your marketing. And that theory goes for everything. You sell them your course, what happens? They're all excited. They need it the moment that they're making that buying decision because they're really feeling the pain point of whatever they're feeling. They want to make more money, or they want to do better marketing, or they want to, whatever your course is all about. But then they get it and they see all the do this onboarding emails and everything else. Like, oh, that seems cumbersome. I'll start tomorrow. And tomorrow turns into a week, and a week turns into a month. And right when that 30-day money-back guarantee is about to expire, they say, oh, you know what? I thought this was a good idea, but clearly I must not have time for it because I haven't started, and they click return. So it's like you never made a sale in the first place. Do you see why I say it's more important for you to get them to use your product than it is to sell them a product? Because quite honestly, they're just going to do a chargeback, or they're going to click return right at the end of the policy if you don't get them to use your product. And it's like never making a sale to begin with. And this is the cycle that a lot of you are stuck on. You spend more and more money on marketing because you're not getting referrals, because you don't have usage. You spend more and more effort on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook, marketing your face off to create more sales, when your sales could be selling on your behalf if people were using and loving your product. Lori understood this a long time ago when she started Glossy. It's not enough to sell somebody Glossy, which is a skin routine you can drink hydration stick. They follow up to make sure that they used it right away. They check in all the time to see how results are. They created a community that everyone who is a current active subscriber can get on monthly calls with Lori and other people and really feel like they have a sense of community and support that's totally free. She built the tools because she knew that it was more important to get them to use Glossy than to just buy Glossy, or they would stop any kind of future sales, maybe even return the original one. Usage beats acquisition every single time, because usage drives habit, and habit drives retention, and retention and impact drive referrals, and referrals drive lifetime value. Do you see how this stacks in your favor? And remember, if you've listened to other episodes, understanding your CAC versus your lifetime value, your CAC is your customer acquisition cost. How much did it cost you to get that customer versus what is their lifetime value? If you actually understand that, then you understand that retention driving lifetime value is the most important thing that you can measure, because this allows you to do the math and say, how much can I spend to acquire this customer and still know it's going to turn out profitable? And that lifetime value is greatly affected by your retention, and your retention is greatly affected by your usage. We also learned this years ago when we were selling Isogenics. Still use it today, 15 years later. Greatest products like this changed our life. But we learned it years ago because we knew that we'd get someone signed up and their 30-day system or their cleanse pack would show up, and they're like, oh gosh, not eating for 24 hours during the cleanse, or oh God, starting this 30-day system. Look at all the different bottles in here. What do we do? So we would have a getting started call. Hey, I want you to text me the day that your package gets there. And then we'd also, if we didn't hear from them, estimate what day their package got there. And then we would call them if they didn't text us. We'd say, hey, let's lay this all out and get you started right away today. Because we knew that if they didn't start right away today, they'd start next week, and next week would lead to next month, and then they would not be a customer and they would not change their life. I even had this conversation with my concierge doctor. Every quarter you get labs with him. It's amazing to make sure that there's nothing lurking. And every quarter he goes through those labs with you live. So you can ask him questions. How you feeling? Here's what we saw in the labs, etc. And I had a buddy who also uses this concierge doctor. And the buddy's like, yeah, I've just skipped my quarterly meeting with him the past few times. And I feel like maybe I'm just not using the program. And, maybe I should quit. It's a lot of money each month. And I said to my buddy, I said, the value of the program is not in you necessarily getting on that call. It's the fact that you got the labs. It's the fact that you can get into any kind of medical care for any kind of situation at the drop of a hat. It's the fact that you get the cancer screening. It's the fact that you get the scans, the full MRIs and CAT scans and all this stuff. The value of the program is not the call, but perception is reality. So look at all the value that this guy is getting from my concierge doctor, except his perception is, oh, I'm not using the calls. So maybe I'll just quit. Usage beats sales every time. You guys starting to kind of pick up what I'm putting down here? So what can you do to increase usage? What can you do to increase the likelihood that they are going to thrive on your product so that they then not only stay a customer, but create other customers for you through referrals? Well, the first one that you could try is this. You have to make adaption easy, and you have to make the first win quick. So let's go back to, well, I'll give you an example, this peptide stack that I'm on. So here's what happens. Someone says, here's the 4 or 5 peptides that you have to be on, and here's what they're going to do, and you're really excited, and you spend the money, and then they show up a couple days later, and they show up with a box of needles and a box of wipes, and you have to, I forget what the word is, but reconstitute. So, the peptide shows up in a tiny little vial with a little bit of powder in it, and you have to take this special water and you have to reconstitute it. It means you take the water and you put it in a vial, and you have to put just the right amount in there, and you have to know what just the right amount, and then you have to lightly swirl it, and then you have to refrigerate. Like, there's a lot to getting started when this thing shows up. And the person that got us started knew, with our busy lifestyle, that adaption is not necessarily easy. So they knew that the burden was on them to say, okay, how do I make adaption easy? How do I make adaption easy? So she said, on the day you get it, I want you to text me. And so we did. And she said, great. Can you jump on the phone right now? I said, I'm kind of busy. How about tonight? Great. How about tonight at 6 o'clock? Great. Did a Zoom. And she said, okay, let's first reconstitute everything. Here's the library where you can look it up and show and see how much you're supposed to reconstitute. But I'm going to make it easy. I'm going to tell you. So for the BPC 157, you got to put this much water in. For the TB 500, you got to put this much water in. And you got to use it this many times a week. All right, are you writing this down? Do you have your calendar out? Did you put it in your calendar? I suggest you get a little paper calendar, write it down. Like, she literally made sure, probably spent 45 minutes with us on Zoom, making sure everything was ready to go and that we took our first shots. That's an example of, it might be a heavy lift, but it makes adaption easy. And look, here I am a couple weeks later, and my life has changed. Otherwise, I know Lori and I might have sat there for a long time without us trying. And I'm so grateful that she made adaption easy. So how can you make adaption easy for your products, and how can you get the first win quick? Second idea, use technology for cues and reminders. You can automate calendar invites, like pretend you had something where they're supposed to do a module every week. Maybe you send out a calendar invite to their calendar where every week, check in on module 1, check in on module 2, check in on module 3. You can do things like create push notifications if you're really getting deep with your technology, if it's an app, or just simple email campaigns. Hey, congrats on day 1 of your journey. We're so excited. Please let us know the first time that you get through chapter 1. And then a couple days later, hey, we're so excited. We wanted to give you this additional gift. And when you finish chapter 2 or module 2, please email blank at such and such. We have another special gift for you. So can you use email campaigns to get people off to a fast start? This is all about getting people off to a fast start. This will change your business forever, I promise. Idea number 3, who on your team can surprise and delight by reaching out via text or even, heaven forbid, calling them to thank them and see if they got started already and to see if they have any questions. And who on your team can call or text to do a 2-week check-in and a 30-day check-in? Hey, just want to let you know we're about to ship out next month. We wanted to make sure that you're feeling good, using things correctly. And I know a lot of you are afraid to do that. Like, oh my God, I don't want to remind them that it's going to ship out next month. What if they cancel? Trust me, they're going to cancel on your ass if you don't either way. Problem is, they're just going to send it back. But the likelihood of them canceling, if you're high touch, is very, very, very low, even if they haven't had a great result yet, because you get to explain why maybe the result isn't felt yet. So who on your team can surprise and delight by reaching out and making sure they feel taken care of? Fourth idea, create community and recognition. When we were in network marketing hot and heavy, we noticed a trend. We noticed that a lot of the people that would sign up to do the business, they love the products and they want to share the products, make a little bit of money. We noticed that long before they made any substantial money, half of them were really engaged and the other half weren't. And the trend for the ones who were really engaged was this. They had a sense of community. They were getting on the calls. They were getting recognition. They felt seen. Because the truth is this, guys. Most people in life They don't feel seen or recognized at home because, their spouse is so busy. Their kids are so busy. They don't feel seen or recognized at work. Work's become very impersonal in most situations, or they're working from home, so they don't feel seen or recognized. And they don't feel seen or recognized as an individual. So when you can create some kind of either levels or accomplishments or recognition for whatever your product is, I don't care if it's a course, I don't care if it's a book, I don't care if it's a physical product like Losi, I don't care if it's peptide, I don't care what it is. Hey, congratulations, you're 1 month in, you are now a silver level user. What does that mean? It means nothing, but it feels good and these things work. Hey, congrats, you reached 90 days, you're now a gold level user. What does that mean? What do I get? Nothing, but it's recognition. These things really work. So you have to create community and you have to create recognition programs, and people love being labeled. They love ascension. That's why people in martial arts love to fight for that next belt. They love being labeled and they love ascension. So you have to create that in your program. And the fifth idea is this. How much social proof can you use? Hey, customer, just wanted to send a success story. Bob over here lost 10 pounds in 15 days. So excited for him. Maybe that's a bit much. I just made that up. I don't know. Hey, customer. So excited. Carrie over here made her first $2,500 after buying our course. So excited. Way to go, Carrie. Cheering you on. Let us know if you have any questions. Hey, customer. Timmy over here gained 5 pounds of muscle after 2 months on our program. Look at his before and after. Incredible. Send us your before and after. How much social proof can you send and how often can you send it? Because social proof makes other people say, oh my God, it works. I need to get my shit together. Or they may already be doing it, but maybe it's delayed results. So they say, oh my gosh, all right, it's worth staying on the train, even though I'm not seeing what I want to see right now. So to sum it up, guys, the bottom line is this. Usage beats acquisition almost every single time. And this will change your business forever because usage drives habit, habit drives retention, and retention drives results and referrals, which will then drive lifetime value and lower your marketing budget. So I don't care if it's idea 1, make adaption easy. Idea 2, use technology for reminders. Number 3, use your team to reach out and surprise and delight. Number 4, create community recognition levels and programs. Or number 5, just bombard them with social proof. I prefer you do it all. But if you do, it'll change your life. And guys, these are some of the things that we deep dive, like in your business, show me your recognition program. In your business, show me your fast start program. In your business, show me your retention numbers. This is what we do in our masterminds, and especially in our elite level mastermind, because it's real small and intimate. So we really get to know your business. I mean, we really literally work in your business, but it's only for businesses over $500,000 or more. Most people are 7- and 8-figure earners. But literally, last year, we have doubled people's revenue while showing them how to work half the time by building in efficiencies. We created brand new 7-figure income source for somebody while saving them a few $100,000 on shipping. It wasn't even on the radar to do that when they started. We also helped somebody sell their business last year when in the beginning of the year, they didn't even know they could, and they sold it for multiple 7 figures. Because we do not play around in this program. This is the program for the big dogs, but this is a program that gets the biggest results. So if you qualify, there's only a couple spots left. We only enroll once a year. And then we all lock arms, we ride or die together for 2026. So if you want to have a shot at getting into our elite level mastermind and really having Lori and I help get you results like that, right now, hit stop on this episode and go over to chrisharder.me/mastermind and fill out the app right away. We'll jump on Zoom and see if it's a good fit. That's chrisharder.me.me/mastermind. Fill out the app. Can't wait to talk to you on Zoom. All right, guys, thanks for listening. Remember, usage beats acquisition every time. Let's go.
Thanks for listening. And if you loved this episode and know of someone else who is as successful as they are generous, please pass them on to me. It would mean the world to me if you help me get this cause and this message out to as many listeners as I can. So please, if you liked what you heard, it goes a long way if you take 30 seconds and leave me a 5-star review and share this with your friends. I'll be forever grateful. And until the next episode, cheers to your success.